Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Vinit Kauri. In this video, I'll give you a complete walkthrough of the autonomous agent designer so you understand every major component before building your own agent. In previous video, I have already explained you how to get started with autonomous agent, conversational agent, and the coded agents within UiPath Studio web. Now currently we are in the designer. At the center, you can see we have the agent itself. Think of this as the brain of your autonomous application. Everything revolves around this component. You can see memory, escalations, context, tools, everything is added over here. So you have, based on your use case, you need to connect or use those features. So the first is the memory. Memory allows the agent to remember information during the conversation. For example, if I tell the agent my employee ID in the beginning, it doesn't need to ask me again later. This creates a much more natural conversational experience. Then we have the escalations. Sometimes the agent may not have the enough confidence to answer a question, or maybe the task requires a human approval. Instead of making assumptions, the agent can escalate the request to a human, making the solution more reliable through UiPath actions which are there. Then we have the context. Context is where we provide the enterprise knowledge to the agent. LLMs know the general information, but they don't know your company's HR policies, SOPs, or internal documentation. This is as an example. By connecting documents and knowledge sources, the agent can provide the responses based on your organization's data instead of relying solely on general knowledge. So, with the context, you can make your agent more smarter. Then we have the tools, and this is the one of the most powerful capabilities that agent holds. AI models can reason, but they cannot directly perform actions like sending emails, updating Salesforce, triggering UI processes, or calling APIs. Tools give the agent those capabilities. The agent decides when to use the tool and the tool performs the actual work. Now, if we move to the right hand side, you can see we have the system prompt and the user prompt. So, this is the main heart of an agent where you define your agent. So, this is the definition we provide. And first, we have is the system prompt. Most important section we have within the agent definition. Here you define who the agent is, how it should behave, what are the rules it should follow throughout the conversation. If you have heard, then you get an information like agent. Here we define the agent's specific role, goals, rules, and the operational constraints. Like in the definition only, like you can have the exceptional cases, how you want to handle, what are different rules you want to provide, and what is the main purpose of your agent that you can define it over here. Then you have the user prompt. If you have the user prompt, it says define your task and provide necessary details for the agent to accomplish your goals. This represents the actual work or the task user wants the agent to perform. So the system prompt defines the agent behavior while the user prompt defines the work it needs to be done. Then we have the edit input output schema. So once you click on the input output schema, then on the left hand side you have the data manager. In the data manager you have input outputs and the variables. So in the inputs you can define which type of variable you want as an input to an agent. So based on your requirement, you will get an input, and then you have the output. What kind of content or what is the response you want out of the agent that you can define within the outputs. And in the variable, you can use this variable to define like how you want to pass data between tools within the agent. So in that case, you can use these variables. So this is especially useful when you integrate the agent with your apps, Maestro, or the other workflows where structured inputs and the outputs are required. Then we have the model settings. First is the temperature. You can set the temperature of your agent, like how you want your response to be. If you want the response is precise, then in that scenario, like you have to set a temperature to 0, then you will get the exact response. So temperature control how creative or deterministic the responses should be. Then you have this max token per response. Max tokens max tokens determines the maximum length of the response. which you are going to feed to the LLM, and based on that, you'll get a response back. Then you have the max iterations. Max iterations controls how many reasoning steps the agents can perform before returning the final answers. Then we have these guardrails features enabled. These are built-in safety and quality checks designed to keep your autonomous agent reliable, secure, and compliant with enterprise policies. They monitor agent activity, control what data is processed, and prevent unintended action like exposing sensitive data or the information or executing unauthorized automation. If you click on add guardrails, then we have the PI detection, harmful content, intellectual property, user prompt attacks. So those we can add within your agent definition and make your agent more resilient and make your agent safe. Then at the bottom, you can see we have execution trail, history, and the evaluation. In the execution trail, shows how the agent reasoned through the request and which tool is used. So when we will build the real-time use case, then we'll see how agent is performing, like from start to end. Like, it has you get all these execution trails. Like agent has used the context for reasoning, then which tool it has called, and which decision has been made. So those all trails will be seen over here. So that we will be seeing in the next video in the real-time use case. Then we have the history. History keeps the track of all our previous executions. Then we have the evaluations. Evaluation helps measure the quality of your agent before deploying it to the production. So uh, once we build our definition and we are ready with our agent, then we test this. Then we test our agent with these evaluations, and it get it helps us to make our agent ready for the production. Then on the right hand side, like we have this agent score. So it is going to calculate all our prompts, rules, input schema, evaluation. So based on our input on the agent definition, it is going to provide us the agent score. So based on that, we'll able to see which particular area needs a refinement to increase our health score or the agent score. And that's a quick overview of the UiPath Autonomous Agent Designer. In this video, we have explored the core components of the designer and understood the purpose of each section. In the next video, we'll build a real autonomous agent from the scratch, connects tools and context, and see how it reasons through a real business scenario. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what autonomous agent use case you would like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.